Okay, this video will hopefully demonstrate how to put together the activities from the Fusion activity on our assemblies, where we're first learning how to make assemblies in Fusion 360. It's been a while since I've done this, so hopefully I can do it fairly smoothly on the first try, but if I don't, feel free to make fun of me and or count how many times I say during the course of the video. I am winging this. The first activity says to open up a new Fusion 360 file, which I have here, and then to create 3 blocks that approximate the shapes shown on the PowerPoint. So there are 2 prisms and then one thing that looks like a bridge. And I said on the PowerPoint that my prisms are 1 inch by 3 inch by 1 inch. And the bridge shape is 3 inches long and it's extruded 1 inch. So I guess I'll go ahead and just do some prisms here. So we'll do this one. I guess we'll just do it this way. So I'll make this 3 inches by 1 inch. And then I think I want to do them in separate. I was trying to think about whether I wanted to put them like in the same drawing or not. So there's my first prism. And now I'll do my second one. I think I could probably put them in the same sketch, but I'm not sure that's exactly what I want to do. So what I'm doing here is creating the prisms, and you don't have to do them with these dimensions. If it's going to take you a really long time, don't. So we'll finish this sketch. And yeah, I want to make sure that I have 3 separate what are called bodies. And we've seen that come up before. And I'll do my last one. So let's do this one with a line tool. We'll kind of go up like this and across and down. And I'd like it to be level. I'm looking for something that will let me know that I've got that level, but all right. And now I'm going to do some, no, that's not working. I want it to curve the other way, but it definitely doesn't want to curve. Okay, well, we'll just do, there we go. Now, grumble, grumble, grumble. There we go. Okay, I don't want that. That's going to cause an issue. Okay, so let's close it. I probably should have slowed down there. I didn't like how it was in 2 different segments. Like it looked okay, but that's the kind of thing some of you learn that can cause some trouble. Now, I'm thinking, if you're wondering what this silence is, that's obviously not a rectangle, and I can constrain it to be a rectangle. I think that's going to be over constrained. Yeah, that was over constrained, so that's fine. Or I could just go back and do it as a rectangle. Now I'm going to, I guess I'll do a fit point spline to do my little archy thing. So we'll come up here, and now we'll come over here, and that looks good. Oops. There we go. All right, that looks great. If you haven't played around with the fit point spline, they're kind of fun to play around with. So once I am done sketching it, you can kind of pull it and tweak that shape to be whatever you want. So I'm gonna like tweak it. We'll make it. Part of me wants to do that just for fun. Okay, well, we're gonna do that just for fun. And then I need to extrude this. And I want to extrude just that part because I want it to have a, I didn't, shoot, just kidding. I needed to dimension that first. Let's go back in. Okay, so I'm down here. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm down here, and I'm going to click on that and click Edit Sketch because I did not dimension it, and I wanted to do that. So we're going to make that 3 inches and this 1 inch, and that's probably not going to work. So let's grab, whoops, this, and yeah, we obviously need to tweak that, and I think I want to pull that in. What is happening? That's insanity. Okay, that'll work. I think it'll work. We'll find out. Okay, and I'm going to extrude that up 1 inch. Okay, so I have my 3 parts there, and so yours should look something like that. It did not take me a super long time to do that, less than 5 minutes for me to do that. So that was with some explanation and some messing it up. So now we need to get into some new stuff. When we've extruded stuff, you probably noticed, maybe you haven't noticed, it says like new body over on the right hand side when you're constructing and you're extruding and revolving. And we haven't really talked about what that is. Over here on the left hand side, you see where it says bodies, and we're going to open that up. And if I hover over this, you'll notice that it illuminates like which one is body 1, which one is body 2, and which one is body 3. So notice that. Okay, if you click on the little eyeball, you can hide it. You'll notice that is a little eyeball, in case you were wondering. It's got a little slash through it, and what it did was I turned off the visibility for that particular body. So I'll click that and turn it back on. What you want to do is right click on the word body, and you'll notice it says up here in the menu, create components from bodies. So we're going to right click on each of them and create a component from the body. And you'll notice that these components have now popped up. So you now have more stuff. Now, what you can do, which you couldn't do before, okay, is you can now click and drag and move these around. So that you could not do. When it's in the sketch mode, in your sketches there, it's anchored to wherever you put it. So now, even though I didn't put anything on the origin, I can drag stuff. I can even drag them through each other. I think I can drag them through each other. Oh, that's messed up. That's MC Escher messed up. Okay. So we make it into a component, then choose one of the prisms, and we're going to ground it. Okay, I don't remember how to do that. So you're going to pick a prism, any prism. We'll pick component 1. And once again, I'm going to right click, and up here on the menu, you'll notice it says ground, and I'm going to click that. And oh, this comes up. It says some components have been moved, capture the current position, or continue in the previous position. Most of the time, you're going to say capture position, because what you're going to intentionally move the components. So you're going to move them to where you close to where you want them to be, and that actually becomes very important in order to get the joints to work the way you want. You're going to move them. If you don't like, if you moved them on accident, you'll click continue, but I'm going to click capture position. And now you'll notice there's a little thumbtack over here on the left, and that's like tacking this down. So now I can click and drag these 2 components, but I can no longer click and drag that one. So what we're going to do is create a rigid joint between the grounded prism and the bridge part, and then we'll slide it till it rests fully on the prism. So the directions were in the PowerPoint. You can pull that up on a different window if you need to. And it tells us to, under the Assemble tab, we are going to choose Joint. So joint. Now, a couple other things. Joint origin, I found that very useful before I took my certification exam in this. You can actually put a joint origin. It means you can, a place that doesn't have a built-in joint, or a place that's obvious, you can put a spot and say, I would like to put a joint here. So we're just going to pick joint. And then we need to pick the kind of joint that we want. So oh, that's right here. Okay. And so rigid joint is the one that is already selected, but we're going to do a slider joint for the next activity. So, but we'll leave that as rigid. Now notice when I hover over my pieces here, okay? You'll see this like little circle appear right there. That's a joint origin. In fact, when I move it, you can see place joint origin on a component. And you can see how that joint origin moves, and it will automatically like snap into certain places. So like right now it's on the corner there. I want it to be on the underside of the bridge. So I'm going to put that joint origin there, and I'm going to build that on my piece that's grounded here. So I'm going to snap a joint origin there. So when I do that, it's going to take the two locations where I have the joint origins and attach them. Boom. So we can maybe do that again. I'm not sure I can do it again. So assemble joint, pick rigid joint, and I'm going to put a joint origin like right there. And I would like that. Now, wherever I put this, Fusion is going to line them up. So I'm going to snap that there. Oh, no, just kidding. Oh, we'll put it in the middle this time. Okay, notice how it's in a different spot. Okay, and then it says use the offset to help you line it up. So once you get it in place, it's going to let you adjust the position. So I'm going to use this arrow and slide it down till I get that as close to the edge as I can. It doesn't seem to, I'm going to try like 0.6, 0.8. Oh, I like that. That looks pretty good. And I'm just playing around with that. And that looks pretty good. So I offset it in the X direction by 0.8 inches, which just means I slid it from where I had originally put it. And we'll click OK. Now, what that means now is this piece, this bridge piece that previously I was able to move around, I can no longer move around because I have created a rigid joint between that piece and the block. This component, I can still move around. So the last thing we need to do for this first part is to create like the rest of our bridge. So we're going to construct a rigid joint on this face with the top of this. Now, here's the deal. What I mentioned earlier, like I could put this component way over here, but it's not anywhere near where I want it to be. So what I'm going to do is slide this down here because it puts the component closer to where I ultimately want it to be, which will make it easier for Fusion to figure out what I'm trying to do. So we'll do assemble joint. Rigid is already picked. I'll pick the top side of this. Then I have to grab my view cube. Oops. What did I just do? I think, yeah, there we go. And I want the underside there. And it's going to slide them. That did not line up exactly how I would have liked. So I'm going to use the offset. Actually, that doesn't. No, they're okay. I'm going to use the offset to drag it this way until it mostly lines up. I'm not going to get super picky about it. And then I'm going to use this line to drag it that way. That lined up really nice. It's not quite lined up perfectly, but again, remember what the point of the activity is. Okay, now when I'm done with this, I'll go hit home. Okay, what I've done now I can click anywhere on here and it doesn't move. So it's a totally rigid structure. What you need to do, now I can grade this in class by coming to your computer and I will click on your mouse and I'm going to hover over this and click the different parts. And what I'm going to look for is whether I see those joint symbols there, meaning that you assembled this with a joint. And I'm also going to click on the different parts and make sure none of these parts move. So they're not just resting on each other nicely, but they actually are attached. If you're going to do a screencast, what I'm going to ask you to do is show the same thing. So you're going to need to do exactly what I'm doing right now. You're going to do a recording of Fusion and you're going to hover over those joints, make sure I can see that they're there, and you're going to like click and drag and demonstrate that you cannot click and drag that. All right, the second activity is a slider joint. So I'm going to open up a new design window and we're going to do a quick little prism. So we're going to do a little block here, and there are no dimensions on this at all. We're going to put a hole in that. The only dimension we need to be particular about is we want that diameter to be 1 inch. And then we'll extrude this. We're going to extrude everything but the hole, and it does not matter how far you extrude it. Now for my second trick, I don't like where that is. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that create. Oh, it's not letting me. Just kidding. Oh, no, that's fine. I'm going to do create component from body so that I can move it out of the way. Okay, now I can do this. Now again, it's saying some components have been moved. I want to capture that position because I don't want to move it back. That was the problem. All right, now we'll do a circle. We do need to make sure that that is 1 inch so that it matches the hole. And we are going to extrude that up, and just extrude it up. Make sure that you've extruded it up enough so that you're going to be able to see the movement of it through your prism. All right, so something quick like that. And turn them into components. I already turned this one into components, so this one can move. This one is locked in place because it's still a body, so I'm going to right click and create component from body. And there we go. Now I can move them both. So now we're going to create a slider joint in between the hole here and the cylinder. So we click on assemble joint, and this time I want to pick slider joint. And we are going to look at component 1. Yeah, component 1. I guess for the component 1 now, I'm going to come over here and highlight, and you should be able to see like it's highlighting the inside here, like this is where we want it to slide, and it places that joint origin. And now we're going to do component 2. Okay, and it gives you that nice little preview of what this will do. We'll go back and do that again just so you guys can see it, and so I can refresh this. So we're going to do assemble joint. We're going to pick a slider joint, and then over here, component 1, I picked the interior there, and you can see where that joint origin is. You can maybe move the joint. Well, don't mess with it. And then it automatically goes down to component 2, and I'm picking the cylinder, and then Fusion will snap them together, and it gives you this nice preview of how that is going to move, and that's exactly how we wanted it to move. So I'll click OK. And what should happen now? Ooh, I didn't ground the block. Oops. Okay. The block is component 1. So like learning experience. When I grab this, like notice it's just moving the whole thing around. And I can grab either the cylinder up here, like you probably can't see, like now you can see that I'm grabbing the cylinder and it just moves everything. So we're not getting the motion of the joint. So we need to ground the block. So you right click on component and ground the block. Okay, and so now the block is locked into place. So now when I click on the block, it doesn't move, but I can still move the cylinder, okay, because that is the kind of joint. So now I can't move the cylinder from side to side. You can see how my mouse is moving. It doesn't move from side to side. The only way that I can move it is to slide through the hole. So you're able to mimic that motion. So again, to grade this, I will either come to your desk and get a visual like this, like you're going to show me that this works. So we're going to click on the block and show that it doesn't move. We're going to hover over that to see that there's a joint in there. And then you're going to click on the cylinder and show that it does move. And then you want to move it back and forth and show that it doesn't move any other way, because Fusion will have stuff like move through solid objects. That's totally something it would do. Okay, so that's what you're going to do. Or if you do the screencast, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to click on the block and show that it doesn't move. You're going to hover over that to show me that there is a joint, and then you're going to slide this up and down and demonstrate that it moves the correct way. So hopefully this video wasn't too catastrophic. It's a little bit less than 20 minutes long, and it demonstrates the first 2 activities, which should give you what you need to begin the selfie stick project.